All right, I guess we're rolling. So, welcome. Today's natural healing study group are two bros, Robert Bro and Carrie Bro. I'm Carrie, and there's Robert. and today we want to talk about some really cool concepts. We want to give you some things that you can do um, for things, for healing, for staying well, using some natural healing tools and concepts to keep yourself healthy, keep yourself um, mentally sharp, dealing with symptoms that might come up, and being able to maneuver through dis-ease and situations that we all deal with on a daily basis. And it's nice to have some tools that you can readily use and not depend on. I mean, it's always good if you're, of course, having to use modern medicine to have, if it's there for you, if you need it, if you have a gunshot wound, or if you are, lacerated or crushed or broken or anything like that, that's a good place for getting taken care of, getting sewed up or dealt with an emergency. But there's a lot of things that you can do without resorting to that. And we're going to talk about a lot of those principles today. So without any further ado, I think I'm going to turn it over to you, Bobby, because you've got the screens called up.
Yeah, we probably one of the most common questions people ask these days is, what are some essential things that you got to have to stay healthy? It could be a survival situation, but just in general in surviving our modern lifestyle. So we're going to go over some of those. And I've got some things to share. That would be...
I like your shirt, by the way.
Okay.
Show off your shirt a little bit. That's the latest from InfoWars. They did a big shirt sale. I think they're all discounted for like $10. So we support the info war.
Right. These aren't necessarily in any order of this is the most important or least important. These are just things that you should have. A rebounder, a little mini trampoline, is so good for your health, for maintaining and recovering from illness, from degeneration, things like that. So you bounce on this. It's safe for people with herniated discs, people with osteoporosis. The springs absorb 7/8 of the shock trauma to all of your weight-bearing joints. So it's really easy on your body. And it has threefold benefit. In addition to generating cardiovascular endurance for your heart and lungs, it strengthens every cell in your body, not just muscle cells like other exercises, but every cell from your hair down to your toenails, because your body's going up and down 100 times a minute, and it's coupling the pull of gravity, and that's coupled with the acceleration and deceleration offered by the springs. When you land on it, and it springs you back up. So this strengthens every cell membrane in every cell of your body, making it stronger. And it pumps your lymphatic system. Our lymphatic system is like the central vacuum cleaning system of the body. It doesn't have its own pump like our heart and our blood circulatory system. So you have to help out the lymphatic system. Muscular contraction, relaxation, deep breathing, things like that, and naturally milk the lymph through these lymph vessels, which have one-way valves and only allow the movement in one direction. So inversion, getting your head lower than your feet, will allow gravity to facilitate the lymphatic drainage. And in your lymphatic system, you have lymphocytes, which are immune cells, and they get circulated 16 to 20 times more than any other exercise known to science. So this is the safest, most effective, most efficient form of exercise known to science.
Well, you have
They also have a bar you can get for people if they're unstable you know, until you develop I call them your guy wire muscles. Those muscles that stabilize your spring, your spine, and your springs are bouncing you. So you can use that until you don't need it, and you take it off and then use it regularly.
And
So
you're showing some pictures of people, it looks like they're bouncing high, but they're not. You don't have to bounce high at all. That lady is kind of high up in there, but your feet don't really have to leave it. You know, of
Right.
course, you can bounce really high and do really hard aerobic type workouts. You know, you can use it in that manner, but you don't have to for getting the benefits that Bobby mentioned.
Right. A juicer, a vegetable juicer is so important for being able to extract the structured water in plants and the minerals and the enzymes, everything that are contained within them without having to expend the digestive energy to break down all the cellulose, to chew it all, to break it down. It's like an IV. You're just giving that nutrition that's inside the cells of these vegetables directly into the body. So you can rebuild the body's nutrition fairly quickly. And again, the minerals that are in these have gone through photosynthesis, so they're plant-based minerals that your body can actually use. So this is very, very effective for rebuilding, especially a really depleted body, because all you got to do is just sip on it all day. It's like an IV. And you get a variety of all the 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, essential fatty acids, all that. You can put garlic in there, you can crush all kinds of stuff. And this uses it's called an auger system, a twin gear, that the auger out on the end here turns, but the crushing happens between these worm gears. There's a really close tolerance. So it really squeezes out a lot of the juice from the pulp. It gives you a really dry pulp. And the last juice to leave the pulp has got the most enzymes in it. And that's what you really want. So you want a dry pulp, and you want a machine that'll do that. It also turns slowly, so there's no friction creating heat that would destroy the enzymes. So this device is really recommended for all people that want to get healthy and stay healthy.
But any juicer is better than none. There's a lot of different ones out there. This one, like Bobby said, is a twin gear. There's an auger, which is just like one of those gears that crushes it. There's the ones called the Champion, which is a masticator, which it's not the most efficient, but it's a good workhorse. There are the centrifugal ones that they're like big graters, but then they spin and then it throws the juice out there.
Those are the least effective of all the types of juicers. Plus, that spinning basket sucks air into it, and you get a lot of foam. And that air oxidizes the juice faster because you're infusing it into the juice.
But any juicer is good to start with. You know, if
better
you
than
have,
no juice.
yeah, better than no juice. And some of you really want to keep this as fresh as you can. A day, maybe 24 hours. 36 hours, but if you're going to make more, you'd want to probably store it in smaller jars, cap it, fill it all the way to the top and then cap them off. So that way when you open it, there's maybe an 8 ounces or 12 ounces that you're going to drink right away, rather than having a big pitcher of it that's got all the air and it oxidizes. So storing it that way in the refrigerator, or even freezing it into ice cubes, you can then throw it in water and let it dissolve. So just getting that nutrition in is vital. It's very important.
Water purification. Our bodies are mostly water. Water is the most important thing we can put in our bodies. But we want it purified. We don't want to drink it from the tap. There's all kinds of harmful chemicals, sediment, other contaminants that are in the water. So
Just the calcium alone in water. I'm sorry. Just the calcium alone. Yeah.
If you don't filter your water, your kidneys will become the filter, and you'll wreak havoc on your kidneys and other tissues. So this is one that we use. It's called a ProPure. It's a gravity fed. There's no electricity or water pressure required. You take the top off, pour in water. It could be water in a survival situation. It could be out of the swimming pool, out of the ditch, out of the lake, the river, wherever you got water. And if you pour red wine in this, it drips down through these filters into this bottom receptacle, and it'll come out just clear, no red in it. It takes even the coloring out of it. It's really amazing. So these filters, they're called G2 filters. They even remove glyphosate from Roundup from the water, which is in all the water supplies now, because people are spraying that crap all over their lawns, and the farmers are using it, and it erodes into the gutters and stuff. So this takes it out. And again, for survival, if you're in a grid down situation, no power, you can't operate a water pump to get water pressure or something like that, then you're SOL. So this allows you to travel also and filter your water that way.
They have different sizes as well, and different amount of filters that you can put in them. What is one filter? What is it? They rate at 3,000 gallons?
1,000 gallons per filter. The one we have has capacity for 4. So that's 12,000 gallons that you can put through that before you have to change it out.
You can go into business. Sell it to your neighbors.
All right, a grounding sheet for the bed. We spend a third of our lives in bed, not necessarily sleeping, but that environment. And it's important to have a safe, clean, energetically clean environment for the body to sleep. When you go into a deep restful sleep, your body goes through something called autophagy, which is a turning over of the cells, and allows the cells to heal and repair themselves. If you don't get into that deep sleep, which requires melatonin, which you get, again, from being out in the sun in the morning with no glasses or contacts or anything, and then avoiding the artificial blue light later in the day. But the grounding alone, we used to be always in touch with the earth. We slept on the earth. We were always connected to Mother Earth. And now we wear insulators on our feet called shoes, and our houses are electrically insulated from the ground. Our beds are elevated off the ground. So this is a fitted bottom sheet that fits on your bed. It has silver threads, and this cable connects to that, and then you plug this into the ground in your electrical system, in the outlet, or if you have an alternate wire from your own ground rod, you can just connect it to that too. So this is so important because, again, a third of your life, if you're on a grounded sheet, it's like sleeping on the earth, and it's like putting your phone on the charger. You put your body on this, it's like putting your body on the charger all night, and charges all your little batteries, which are called cells. Every cell is like a little battery, and it has electrolytes called minerals and water, and that's how you get a charge. One of 3 ways you get electrical charge into the body: directly from the earth, then directly from the sun, because photons are excited electrons, and then the third way is from food, which is stored sunlight energy. So food, beyond being proteins, carbohydrates, and fatty acids, when it gets broken down in the body, ultimately you're dealing with protons and electrons. That's the common denominator. So the more grounded you are, the less food you need to eat, because food is stored sunlight energy. So the more sun you get directly, or if you live closer to the equator, you don't need to eat as much food to fuel the body, because you've got an abundance of it also. Now, the more electrons you have in your body, the more alkaline it will be, because pH, or acid-alkaline balance, is a factor of electrical charge. And they have pillowcases and mats for your feet, at your computer. They have grounded mouse pads, all kinds of stuff.
Mats for your bed or for your pet or for your child. We like this fitted sheet. You know, it has the silver threads in it. We find it's easy to use. You can wash it on a delicate cycle and then dry it just in a not a real hot dryer, but that way you can preserve it a little bit longer. But very good thing to have, and it's almost like free energy. You know, I mean, you buy the sheet, but then you get all those extra electrons when you sleep or nap on it. So very good thing to have.
Yeah. Blue blocking glasses to protect your eyes from the artificial blue light after sunset. And again, blue light does not exist by itself in nature. It always has red with it. There's blue light in the sun, but it also has red. Infrared is 42% of sunlight. So this blocks the blue that will downregulate your mitochondrial function, your engines of your cells, and change your circadian rhythm, because it thinks, especially if you're watching LED TV at night, or if you're out at a restaurant and they've got the junk blue lights, it's everywhere now. Even headlights on cars and street lights, and it's everywhere. So when you're out past sunset, you want to protect the body from that blue artificial light that's going to destroy your melatonin that you might have made by being outside in the morning. And it causes cataracts, it causes an elongation of the globe of the eye, makes you myopic or nearsighted. It destroys DHA in the brain, and it destroys your serotonin, dopamine, melatonin. So nothing works right and you don't feel good. So you got to protect your body now, because this is everywhere in our modern environment. And they have male and female versions, and they have clip-ons for people that wear glasses. Now you can also get prescription glasses tinted. There's a company, Raw Optics, Raw Optics, that does it. You send them your glasses and you can get this is called a nighttime tint, which is more orange. Takes all the blue out of the light. Or they have a daytime, which takes about 50% of the blue light out during the day. So these are, again, essential, because remember your environment. If you don't handle the environment, you can't get healthy in the same environment that made you sick. And physics that is part of your environment, biophysics trumps biochemistry. If you don't have the physics right, your biochemistry can't work right. So if you're paying attention to nutrition and things, which is important, but you're in an environment that's not allowing your body to utilize that nutrition because it's turning off your engines of your cells, then it's like painting over rust. Conditions are going to just keep reappearing. So blue blocker is very important. And you shouldn't use sunscreen, shouldn't wear sunglasses, should be outside, getting the full spectrum, especially in the morning, seeing the color of the sun when it's first rising. You don't have to look straight at the sun, just get that color of the sun that turns on our body's hormone production. And then about 10 o'clock, when ultraviolet A shows up, that turns that process off, and other things start to happen. So
You just mentioned one thing about sunscreen and then sunglasses. If there's intelligent ways of using that. For instance, you don't want to use that all the time. If you are driving in glare or it's really, really bright, or if you're in an environment that's really, really bright, or have to be outside and it's harsh on the eyes, or it's reflecting into the eyes, that's the time you wear sunglasses. that's necessary. But just to put them on, just mindlessly, people just put them on and they go outside. They're always with these sunglasses. And then the sunscreen and sunblock. If you're going to be outside all day or at crucial times, for some reason you got to be outside and it's really hot, or the sun is overhead, and you can't cover anything, that may be a time to wear a sunscreen or a sunblock, but not all the time, just without thinking about it, putting it on. And then women's makeup, you know, face makeup and things, they all have these different degrees of sun protection factor in there. You know, so it's just inevitable. It's all over, and that's the stuff we don't want to do all the time. You want to do it when you need to do it. So.
And you need to build up a solar callus to the sun, like anything you're not used to.
Right.
But the medical profession has made people afraid of the sun. The sun is the source of life in our solar system. And we shouldn't be afraid of it. We should be out there. You know, we spent thousands of years living with the sun, living in touch with the earth. And now we spend 97% of our time indoors. We're not getting that light in the morning. The light we're getting is coming through glazing in our windows, which filters all the ultraviolet, 60% of the infrared, and mainly we're getting blue and green light coming through. And then if you add to that LED, fluorescent, halogen lights, compact fluorescence, any of that, it's mainly blue light. In addition to your computer monitor, or if you're in any tablet or smartphone monitor, your device you're looking at, it's putting out more blue light, and it's telling your brain that it's high noon because it's the same color temperature as the sun at high noon. So your circadian rhythm shifts to that at high noon. Now, if you do this at night, say you go out to a restaurant to eat and you exposed to this light that you should be after sunset, you're not going to sleep that night very well. So you wear these to protect your body from that. And then don't be afraid of the sun, even though the medical profession says to. And then keep in mind that the average life expectancy for a general practitioner in the United States is 56 years. They only live to 56 years. So it's insane to go to somebody who's statistically only going to live to 56 years to find out how to live longer and live better. Got to take that on with a grain of kelp.
Mm-hmm.
See, they made us afraid of salt, made us afraid of cholesterol, and all your steroid hormones are made from cholesterol. Your brain is mostly cholesterol. Don't be afraid of the sun, but build up a tolerance to it, and then you'll really benefit from it. Our next item is an infrared bulb, TheraBulb. This is a hack. We're bringing the sun indoors, especially if you live up north, above 30 degrees latitude. You really need to supplement your lighting in the wintertime. And if you're up high enough, you're not going to get ultraviolet at all for a while. So your body's going to really suffer. So you can get like a black light, which has infrared A. The near infrared from this will turn on your mitochondria, your engines in your cells. They stimulate cytochrome C oxidase, the fourth cytochrome in your inner mitochondrial membrane. It has 4 receptors for red light. So if you're not getting that outdoors from the sun, then you have to get this indoors and treat yourself. And we have more photoreceptors in our skin than we do in our eyes. So you get as naked as you can without creating scandal and bathe in this light. And you can aim it anywhere at the body, or you can bathe the whole body, but you don't want to get it more closer than a foot or 18 inches from the body because it's pretty warm. But 20, 30 minutes of that will really do wonders. And this will go right through the cranium, treat your brain. The infrared light will penetrate up to 30 centimeters into the body. So it'll go right through your cranium and everything. So this is really important, again, for good health. And this is near infrared A, TheraBulb. There's others out there, there's LEDs. This is a filament bulb. We like it because it doesn't have the intense flicker that LEDs do, which is another shock to the nervous system, flickering light. There's also a stand like this we use in our clinic to treat people. It's articulated arm, and you can roll it around easily and treat the body that way. Then they have this smaller little housing that a lot of people find helpful. People that live in mobiles or RVs, you know, down here in Florida, they don't have a lot of room, so this works out good for them. They put on a little table next to them and treat themselves. Next item, ultrasonic nebulizer. We went through this recently with the pandemic folks.
Situation.
Yeah, so what this does is it takes, what we do is we put in usually colloidal silver, which is a potent, safe antimicrobial that will kill over 650 different pathogenic organisms. So the ultrasound hits this fluid and it atomizes it, breaks it up into tiny particles, and it's blown by a little fan, comes out as a fog. These tiny particles will get way down into the smallest airways in your lungs, where a jet nebulizer has larger particles that will precipitate out in the mucosa, mostly in the upper respiratory tract. But you can use this to treat any kind of infection in your lungs, pneumonia, where you've got stuff growing in your mucus in your lungs. And it's an ideal culture medium. You know, it's dark, moist environment. So the colloidal silver will kill anything growing in your mucosa safely without side effects. So you can breathe it into your nose to get your sinuses, breathe it in through your mouth into your large airways, into your lungs, and it'll hydrate as well as, again, kill any undesirables that are living there.
Staph,
It should be in everybody's
pneumococcus. Yep.
first aid kit.
We've had a lot of success with this, with some really touch and go situations with people with respiratory conditions that were not good. You know, that is I think the most crucial thing when you're dealing with any kind of healthcare. I mean, bleeding and then breathing. Breathing, you know, if there's issues wrong with that, you don't have many options and you don't have much time. So making sure that this is, you have something like this when you need it is crucial.
And as a layperson or someone functioning out in the field, not near technology, it's difficult. If you can't get oxygen, supplemental oxygen to people, if you can't do tracheobronchial suctioning of the mucus and stuff out of people, they make it difficult for you to get that equipment if you're not in their club.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a really good tool that can really make a difference, because when somebody gets pneumonia, they can go quickly.
Fast.
Especially if they're weak and debilitated and elderly, you know, and they've got other conditions.
Yeah, from coughing and just not sleeping, you'll find that they're definitely weak.
So ultrasonic nebulizer. Now for the air, this is an ozone generator, and this is the Alpine Air. It's a commercial model. We have one of these, and puts out O3, and then that breaks down into O2 and singlet oxygen, which oxidizes particles in the air and kills mold, all kinds of organisms also. And it handles the vehicle, the air between people. If you're worried about transmission of any pathogen from someone, from them breathing or coughing, sneezing, whatever, if you've got this in your environment and there's anything there, it'll get killed by the ozone. And what's neat about this is it goes out into the room. It doesn't filter the air that comes through the unit through a filter, like a mechanical straining device, strain. It sends the ozone out and it kills stuff everywhere. It'll penetrate into carpeting, upholstery, drapery, even paint, and kill mold and stuff that might be growing. So it's a good supplement to have for if you're traveling, you're staying in a motel and they got cleaning chemicals and who knows what, smoker has been in there. You turn that on, a few minutes, go to dinner, come back. It's just like you can't smell anything. It's really handy to have. So again, if you're worried about protecting yourself from any transference through the air, which really with this coronavirus, it can't even happen. But
And we
we'll go over
turn
that.
these on and off. It's not on constantly. We
Right.
might put it on for a half hour or 45 minutes. And then maybe between patients, we do it a few times through the day, in our home every day or every few days, depending on how much humidity and things that we have in our environment. So,
You can stick this in your car overnight and kill anything that might be growing in your car. A lot of times, if you left the window down, it rained and got in and got, moisture in there under the carpet, if you spilled a drink or who knows what happened, then you might have mold growing under the carpet, and stuff, and it might be in your
air ducts.
your circulation of your air stuff. So this will kill all of this. So make it smell like a new car.
And it also helps to get rid of a lot of the outgassing of all those materials. I mean, it's not going to be all of it because they're still there, but you can clean that up every so often. And you can put it where you're in your home where your cold air return is, and it'll go through your ducts if you have the central air system to clean all the stuff that grows in your air conditioning ducts.
Like mold.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't just blow mold spores through your house.
Right.
Kill all that. Yeah, good point. So the next device is a good blender. Now this is a Vitamix, and it's got a large 48-ounce container. They make them larger, so you can get a 64-ounce. But it's got variable speed. You can reverse the direction of the blade. So you can use this for making, well, why don't you share what you use it for, Carrie?
I use for a lot of things. It's a blender on steroids. I make my own breadcrumbs. I make my own salad dressings. You can do your own mayonnaise, breaking things down, grinding things. It's, food is all about taking things apart and putting things back together. This one is taking things apart or making it into a different form, a more blended form. A lot of times you might want to make it's just so versatile. I mean, just making things easy to chew, blending things up. It's just one of those really good tools to have a decent blender, but one that can, I mean, you can put hard vegetables, put things in there that won't, ice, frozen things, frozen, just whatever you're doing. It has a really good strong motor to blend things up.
And there's other brands. It's just the one we like and the one we use, but there's the Blendtec. You put two
Blendtec.
through it, so
Yeah.
it's amazing. But yeah, I don't know if it has a little small block.
I know, I do it all the time. I mean, I make my own dog food. Just constantly mushing, things together is so much easier with the tool like that. Having the right tools is very important. Yeah.
So making your blender drinks, all that is so much easier with this. This takes a second. Okay, some kind of protection. This is one of our pocket protectors. Some kind of protection from electromagnetic fields, especially microwaves. You put these in your pocket and protect yourself when you're out and about and you're exposed to other people's radiation. There's secondhand radiation, just like secondhand cigarette smoke. You're being impacted by their phone. They might not even be using it. It might just be in their pocket or hanging on their side, zapping them with microwaves, but you're going to get it too if you're close to them. So it protects you, takes that left-hand torsion field out of that field and makes a right-hand torsion field, which is beneficial, actually healing for the body. And it won't weaken you like it would if you didn't have it. So something like that, because this stuff is everywhere. And, y'all should not carry your phone in your pocket or tuck in your bra or anywhere in your body when it's not in airplane mode.
Right.
It's always transmitting. It's always talking to towers trying to get the best signal, and it's slamming you. And you know, if it's on your side or in your pocket, it's right next to your femur, which has bone marrow, a lot of bone marrow where you make blood cells, but, you know, red blood cells, immune cells, and you don't want to irradiate your bone marrow with microwaves, right? And then it's close to your prostate, uterus, and testicles and ovaries by being right there. All those sensitive germ cells being produced by those reproductive organs. So don't do it. You know, just put on airplane mode, and if you need, and you can do a lot of stuff with your phone in airplane mode. You can use the GPS because that doesn't require the tower. It works off of satellite signals, and you can take pictures and, you know, all kinds of other apps you can use without it having to slam you with microwaves. So some kind of protection like that is really essential. Our Tuberose Healing Sound Table, we feel it would be really essential to people, just being able to treat conditions on an energetic vibratory level. This is the new medicine. Not very many people understand it, but it's catching on quick. And if you can treat your body and reset, restructure your body back into the normal, natural, geometric patterns that are a part of nature that we all come in with, and then we get exposed to noxious influences, these fields we've been talking about, electromagnetic fields, could be cell towers, could be power lines, could be signals from satellites coming in. You know, all this stuff scatters our body, especially the water in our body, which is sensitive to all that. So this realigns and helps you reset.
Can you talk a little bit about it? I mean, what is it? You know, we got the speakers and, you know, how it works.
Yeah, when you lie on this table, there are special transducers that transmit specific frequencies of sound through the table into your body through bone conduction, skin conduction, and neural conduction through the ears. And then that sound travels through the water in our body 5 times faster than it does through air. So we're basically a big bag of water. So it goes everywhere in our body. And there, again, there's specific frequencies that will turn on our mitochondria that have been turned off or down-regulated by our, you know, exposure to our environment, different conditions and things. So you can turn that back on with sound. There's no, it's not pulsed electromagnetic fields like other devices that you might have heard of. And this uses acoustic energy of sound. So sound, just like Ella Fitzgerald breaking the wine glass with her voice, sound can actually move and impel matter. And electrical signals can't do that. So it has a different effect on the body, and it's very safe and very enjoyable and very comforting. And so this can be used for treating, it can be used just for relaxation, it can be used for entertainment. You can listen to your favorite music through this table. It sounds like it's coming from inside of you. That's
what's amazing. I mean, you're laying on it and you feel the actual vibration. It's like sitting on a big bass amp. You know, you feel that, but then it not only you feel it like it's shaking, but you feel it coming through your body. The sound or the frequencies, whatever that we're playing to treat you, or you treating yourself. It's just a really transcendental, neat experience. And the lasting, it has, you know, the lasting effects it's amazing because you're treating the whole body all at once. It's a really profound invention. I'm really proud that we have it and that we're starting to offer it. We have 2 different models of it. One is which you're seeing here is the portable, or it's a folding. Those, you know, the legs will fold up. And then we also have a stationary one, you know, for like a spa or clinic, where this one, I mean, this could be a spa or clinic as well, but this one is easier for home use or for the layperson or for somebody that is taking it around for a therapist for somebody that's maybe wanting to travel and treat people with that. So it's quite the amazing table, I would say.
Based on sound research.
Sound research, yep.
So that is,
That's
Or-
yours.
you have a few more things, I think, don't you?
I've got a couple things, yes. Let me go to my screen. Share. Oh, there we go. Can you see it? Did I get it?
No? Oh, there we go.
It's up.
The big E.
Okay, the big E, the big enema bag. This is something that most people kind of poo-poo. But it's a really, really amazing treatment. There's several of them here. You know, you can get these all-in-one type, like this one here in this upper left. And they've got the speculum, the douche speculum, the clamp, the hose, and
How about the one in the middle that has?
hold
the
on, I'm
extra
gonna get
broken
there. Yeah, I want to get there. These other kinds here, like this one, can also double as a hot water bottle up over here. But I personally like this middle one here with the open top bag. It's just easier to use. You can just fill it, and then then the hose hangs off the bottom, and you can hang it up, and then you have the clamp on it. So what's the purpose of this? This is definitely amazing. I'm trying to get my other screen. Hold on. I gotta go to get a different one. Hold on. You can see it
So
better.
this helps clean out the sewer of the body, the colon. And that is so important in so many conditions. When the sewer backs up into the temple, then you get a lot of symptoms.
It's not doing it. Hold on. Hold on a second. Pause share.
So one of these should have in your first aid kit. If you're traveling, you should have it with you, or you can get bound up quickly, especially if you get dehydrated, eating food you're not used to, traveling, not being exposed to bathrooms, for hours at a time and stuff. And this can make all the difference in you feeling good in a few minutes after, or suffering for like days, being all bound up, and you get toxic when your colon isn't rolling.
Here we go. Can you see my screen now?
I still see
Really? The first one?
Are you under share screen still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, it's paused. Oh. Nope. Okay. Did that come up?
Yeah.
Okay, there it's back. All right. Yeah, I wanted to get a couple of these pictures. Let me scroll down here. All right, here we go. Here's the colon on the left side over here, and you can see that. Okay, here we go. Got to get a little graphic, but you can see this is a muscle, and if things don't move out, they stay in here. This is the body dries the stuff out, and it sticks into this lining. It stays in here. Here's on the upper one here. You can see how parts of the colon get large. And this is what's in it. And then some parts get ballooned out, and that makes the other parts get stretched and thin. So when you get something large moving through a small space, it's painful. It hurts. And you don't get complete movement of your bowels.
See the distensions and constrictions.
Yeah, here we go. See, look at like this one here. This is this pink thing is this is the large bowel, and this is what we're talking about. But inside all of this here is the small intestines. That's where absorption happens. But this part here, and it's large. If we were to unfurl it, you can see on this drawing here that it is a big organ, and it hangs down. This is like where a lot of people get the belly right here. This part gets large and swollen and distended, and this is hanging down. It's not fat. It's just fecal matter that is stuck inside of here, and then it makes this get larger, and then it hangs down. So this is, it's a pretty gross situation, but this is an amazing for cleaning this out. And then this is actually, I'm showing you, like, it's called the first colonic irrigation. but you can do this at home with the enema bag.
So when you're doing an enema, you're putting water in the rectum, going in the outdoor, and you're filling the sewer with water. And then you massage, loosen up all the hardened fecal matter that wasn't eliminated. And then the body will, all of a sudden, you'll have peristaltic contractions and you'll eliminate it. And then you fill again and do that, with a bag of water 3 times. And you want to fill the bag and then put it all in, hold it as long as you can, massaging, then eliminate. When you're done eliminating, fill it again. Do the same routine 3 times. Yes, sir, 3 bags full.
Now, this is not only if you're not pooping or constipated, this is great to hydrate the body. This is probably one of the fastest ways to hydrate the body, is putting water in the colon. This also gets rid of headaches. This gets rid of sinus congestion. At any first drop of what you think you might be coming down with something, you're not feeling quite right, you're probably toxic. So this will get all that crap, literally, out of the body. So I'm just showing you these different pictures so you're not freaked out about it.
So
But
when
this
you
is
get plugged
amazing.
up like that,
Yeah.
when you get plugged up, you get a shitty outlook on life.
Yeah. So this is great for kids when they're not feeling good because they're not eating right. You know, they're eating, well, what you feed them, but not always. And parents, compromise. They give kids things that, I don't know, like why would give kids certain foods, or they make certain foods. Oh, this is for kids. Like, why would you give them that? But anyway, then ear problems, kids that have ear, I forget what they're called, when they want to put the tubes in their ears.
Myringotomy.
Thank you. So that stuff gets all hardened, not only in the colon, but it backs up in the lymphatics of the body. So that's, we have now a situation with toxicity is occurring all over. So by cleaning the colon, it drains the lymph. It actually helps the body to drain toxic lymph that is circulating through the body. And then it gets rid of a lot of the toxicity in the bowel. And one more thing, the bowel has reflexes on it like our hands and feet. So when you're putting water in there, that is reflexively, pushing on things that you can't get to because, it's inside the body. But that, you're giving some deep reflexes on that organ, which will trigger a massive healing. So this is a amazing treatment that can go on so many levels. When you're not feeling well, hydrate yourself, clean out your colon, and it will, it's just amazing how fast that you can start to feel better.
And word has it, this is how many politicians were born.
Oh, so these are some different hacks and things that you should have, for kind of to add to your natural healing pharmacy, so to speak. Not only things to take, but things to do. And you have some tools in your toolbox, natural healing tools.
Do you have colloidal silver in there?
Oh, no, I didn't show up. I actually wanted to show you. I have it here. I didn't get a picture up in time. This is colloidal silver that we make. And we have it in the 16 ounce and both the 4 ounce spray and a dropper. And we make ours the small particle size. And we also treat it with the 528 frequency. Another thing about the table, you can treat things. We treat all of our colloidal silver on that. We use that to put the frequency into that as well. So colloidal silver.
We also do that to our orgonite, like when the resin is curing in the mold, it's being vibrated at 528, which puts that cymatic imprints it into the resin as it's hardening, and then it remains there, and it It has we've tested it just plain resin in a mold with no shungite or any gemstones or anything. And then one that's 528 imprinted, and there's a difference. And just like a piece of plain resin versus one with the imprinted flower of life pattern in it, that makes a difference also. It has like an antenna effect, if you will. So that's a little extra that we do to make these tinctures that we make and our colloidal silver a little more effective for people.
And the colloidal silver it's one of the best antimicrobials there is. It kills over 600 different pathogens that we know of. You know, you can drink it, you can put it in your eyes, you can put it in a neti pot and inhale it. You can put it just directly, like with the dropper bottle, up in your sinuses, in your nose. You can nebulize it, like we were talking about with the ultrasonic nebulizer. You can use it topically. You can spray it, and you can also put it on any type of a wound, flush out a wound. You can use it to irrigate a wound. You can also put it in rectally if you have some
Bulb syringe.
yeah, or a microbial imbalance that you want to deal with, get in check. You can put it in. Women can do douches with it for any vaginal problems. Did I miss an orifice? I think it's safe
in the ears, the eyes.
Yeah, it's safe
in breathe it in.
The different
ultrasonic nebulizer
conditions that we get into as humans. That's a great tool to use.
Not to be feared. Recently, there's been an attack on colloidal silver marketers with the COVID hoax. The pharmaceutical industry doesn't like people to know about this because they want to sell you something that they can charge exorbitant fees for, like their antibiotics, which what they call a broad spectrum antibiotic at best will kill 6 organisms at best. That's a broad spectrum antibiotic to them. The colloidal silver will kill over 650 pathogens: yeast, mold, fungus, your virus, your
staph,
right? All kinds of stuff safely without side effects. But because it's a natural substance, just like garlic will do the same thing. But because it's a natural substance, you can't patent it and charge exorbitant fees. So, oh no, we're not going to use that. We're going to use this expensive drug, right? So anyone that's teaching people this, you know, they get attacked by the false data administration, the FDA, or you know, Facebook, you know, the CIA operatives that are, you know, blocking people, censoring it. So you know about this, take advantage of it. Don't be afraid of it. It's been used for 90, 100 years or more before these pharmaceutical antibiotics were used. So it's been around, it's been tried and true, and still works. And you don't build up a tolerance to it like you do with antibiotics. You don't get the antibiotic resistance where only the strong ones survive and then reproduce more strong strains. So this is a really important thing to have in your first aid kit, to have readily available.
So we hope we've given you some tools, some more tools you can put in your toolbox, some things to keep yourself healthy, keep your family healthy, keep your have some things readily available when situations come up, because when there's a crisis, it's really good to have something to do so you're proactive and not depend on the powers that be or some other person to do something that you could easily fix or that you can easily get around or you can easily treat and not be put into a worse situation. So do you have anything else you'd like to say, Bobby?
No, just one more thing with the colloidal silver. We use this with our pets too. We put it in their water. We treat them, put it in their eyes if they have conjunctivitis or whatever. It's safe. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid to use it with your children. You can go safely in any orifice, and it's important to have around.
And everything that we've mentioned too are for, like from the nebulizers to the light to the blue blockers, everything we talked about today is, important for your family, and to share this information and your pets. People don't think about that with their pets, that they are ungrounded, that they are dealing with the light, that they get the crappy food, that they're not getting good purified water. So this
Wi-Fi router affects them too.
exactly, and then this will definitely keep them out of the vet, and from you having to have a lot more expenses, and you either have to do it one way. You got to do it on the front end and invest in these type of things, or you do it on the back end to try to fix things when they happen. And that doesn't always guarantee that it's going to work. It's much easier to work on the prevention side than on the other side. Over 30 years dealing, Bobby and I dealing with, a difficult patient practice, being in the trenches and dealing with everything you can imagine, it's definitely easier to work on the preventative side. So I just want to encourage everybody to work on the prevention side as much as possible, especially when we're moving into an area of health that we've never experienced. We have not dealt with all these electromagnetic fields in the extent of them continually all day, all night around the globe. And there's only so much that we can block and do, and it's getting worse. So as awareness picks up, hopefully we can get rid of a lot of this before it really affects us irreversibly. So working on the preventative side is definitely where you want to be. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and can, if one thing can help you or to help one of your family members or loved ones to save a life or to reduce suffering, then it's totally worth it. And we're glad that you're here. Please help spread the word. Visit us on our website, tuberosehealing.com. We've got more and more things happening there, and our YouTube channel. These shows are, going to be archived on the YouTube, Tuberose Healing. And that's all for me. How about you, Bobby? Anything else for you?
Just thank you for tuning in, and share this information.
Yeah, keep the light shining, people. All right. Namaste.